Good morning and welcome back to Vlogust. It's Wednesday, which in work terms is my Monday, so I'm at my desk going through all these emails. Like, the thing with starting on a Wednesday is Monday and Tuesday stuff's happened and people have copied you into things like, can you do this, can you do that? Wednesday morning I'm like, yes, okay. Usually Wednesday is quite calm, but this week things seem to have been going off. Hopefully, if I finish work early enough, I'm gonna go and meet some girls from work, one of whom I haven't seen since before lockdown, so that's exciting, for a coffee at Costa, yay! So that's happening. I'm watching other people's moving vlogs right now while I go through these emails, and I'll check in with you later when something more interesting happens.
I think my management, I'm gonna have to be like kind of putting myself into the world, in the solo world, and all of the beauty brands are located in Toronto, like YouTube spaces in Toronto, there's just a lot more going on.
Just when I think I'm not gonna argue with anybody else on the internet, someone commented on Instagram today to say that it was dangerous to believe in the law of attraction. Basically went off on this like rant about how in certain religions people will not believe in science and that it's harmful to believe in something spiritual rather than doctors and psychiatrists. I'm like, really struggling to connect the dots there. This has got literally nothing to do with medicine, but hey ho. So apparently I'm like an anti-vaxxer now. Cool. In other news, my bank just called me that we've got the mortgage with because we were going to, well, we were considering buying the house that we live in right now, basically buying mum and dad out because they have a chunk of cash in the house and we have like the majority of it as a mortgage. And we were considering doing that rather than moving before we decided to put the house up for market, to put the house on the market. And the guy called. I mentioned in a previous video that we were looking to go somewhere that we'd had like a loan to value approved and how much money we could borrow and all of that stuff. And he said, oh, okay, you know, that's fine. This is an appointment you don't need anymore. Let me just check some stuff. And he ended up finding some stuff out that might not be quite as optimum for our loan to value and how much we can borrow. We can borrow the same amount, but we need basically more up front because of the current situation, which is kind of what we were imagining in the first place. So when we were told it was less, it was just a bonus. It's not great news, but it's not a deal breaker. So as I was on the phone with him, I was like, well, you know, that's not great, but at least we know now. And he said, what did he say? He said something that made me think this is really weird. He said something along the lines of this phone call was meant to be, or which, you know, is something an off the cuff remark. But I can't remember exactly the sentence that he said, but it was something like, I was meant to call you, or I was meant to whatever. And I thought, this basically puts us in a certain bracket. We were expanding our search in terms of the house that we're going to go to, and the houses at the upper end I wasn't super keen on because most of them needed some kind of work and you wouldn't have as much money to spend on that work. Lee was more keen on kind of the mid-range that were move-in ready, and I kind of liked the much lower that you'd have to do a lot of work to. And I think probably now we're gonna split the difference and end up in that mid-range because we need something that, if we're going to put most of our money into it up front, we need something that's pretty much moving ready, that doesn't need work to be done quickly. So for example, there were some things that we were looking at that would need a garage conversion or a loft conversion to have that extra bedroom that was a decent size for Ella. Now, that might not be quite on the table, but that's not necessarily a terrible thing. It just means that we need to be a little bit more specific about the house that we choose, and also very specific about the amount of money that we take for our house. But I'm choosing to believe that the guy was right and he was meant to call me. Just because I believe that was a sign doesn't mean that I don't think you should wear a mask in Tesco. Wear a mask in Tesco. Okay, I've made a mad decision. That decision is to take Manny to Costa with me. I think we can sit outside. Worst case, I don't live too far away, so I can always bring him home. But the girls from work said they'd like to meet him when I mentioned bringing him, and why not? Why not? People do this kind of thing. So I'm taking him, and it has just started to rain, so let's hope the outdoor area is slightly, what's the word I'm looking for? Protected from the elements. But it is really warm still, so. He is currently beside himself because we've stopped, but I can't expect, like, he's sat like that the entire drive. And now he's like, can we please get off the car? Please.
This is a vlog from Milo McDade. Manny is just in the car chilling. Manny! We're having fun on this drive. Have you been to Costa? Okay, no words. Just ears up. He's looking at you. Like, give me attention, please. Manny! When we get home, you can have some huggles.
So I had like a dog parenting win in that Manny was super well behaved at Costa. It did rain and we got underneath an umbrella, thankfully. But overall, good time. Milo, I'm just realising the lens on this camera is just, I don't even know what's going on. It's like, I swear this is really, I'm going to show you. I'm pretty sure this thing here, I'm trying to figure out, this part of the camera is not supposed to move. I need a new camera, guys. Anyway, Milo, I was just making some mince. We had some mince and mashed potato for tea, just an easy one that I know everyone will eat. And I was draining the mince after cooking it. I was going to put some like gravy and stuff in it. And I turned around from the sink, holding the pan, like swung around to put it back on the, hob. And Milo ran into the pan. So effectively, he ran into the pan and I hit him in the face with a hot pan. It was not my finest moment. Thankfully, it didn't actually do anything to his face and he said it wasn't hot. I made him hold the thing to his face for like half an hour, but he's fine. But it's just, it felt like, yeah, of course that would happen. Of course. These things feel like they only could possibly happen to me. And in case someone asks, because this is the kind of thing that I don't mention and then people will ask, how did I do this to my hair? This is rain. It got rained on and this is like what I call a rain wave. I know, I completely understand what you're saying, Manny. I completely understand. I don't know what she's talking about either. Ella's just come downstairs complaining about the shoulder pads in a blazer. I think we're gonna have some back to school jitters all round. Right, I'm gonna end this vlog and get it edited because I still have some work to do from earlier. The system, we basically got like, it got like, what's the word I'm looking for, like an update, and everything went terribly wrong and everything was harder than it should have been, and eventually I was just like, I'm gonna log on this evening and work a little bit, so that is what I'm gonna do. We're gonna watch TV. I think we're gonna watch some $1 Million Listing. I'm gonna drink my lemon water, which I think is making me feel better, but maybe it's just the water in general and maybe it's the lack of energy drinks. But yeah, that's gonna be me for the evening, so I will see you guys tomorrow.
And I will leave my windows open so that I can hear the sound of people talking and the wind blowing in the trees.